I'm trying to decide if Racer Mini Yonku is my least favorite Konami game on the Famicom. And after thinking it over, I gotta say it's not. But I had to think it over for a while. The Racer Mini Yonku are slot cars. Those motorized models that you build, drop down on a track, and watch to see how they compete against each other. There's no driver for slot cars. The course itself guides them. This kind of racing was very popular among kids in Japan in 1989, which is why Konami made this game, and why it's a significant minigame in Yakuza 0. So this game's all about a slot car racing league, where you need to build your car, and then at regular events you see how it performs. When you start the game, there are a lot of setup options. First, you have to choose how many other players you'll be in direct competition with. The actual league has about 20 players, but up to 4 players can go head-to-head against each other. Then you have to select which character you want to use, and here's where things get weird. The characters all have different abilities and stats, and the most difficult character to play as is the first one in the list. Franco is at the top, and he's prone to unlucky events and being unable to land on useful spaces. He's the one I chose because I didn't look at the documentation until after I got started. Minako is the easiest one to use. She tends to get lots of advantageous things. Then there's Kamako. He's a boy who gets mistaken for a girl and enters beauty pageants as a girl and wins them. That one is straight out of the manual. The final character is the second easiest to use, and that's Hakase. He's likely to get a lot more income. With the characters selected, you choose how long you want the season to be, and how often competitions will occur. And then you can finally get started, and it turns out that Racer Mini Yonku is a board game. Every turn advances the clock by 1 day, and you're basically moving around 2 tracks. The way it spins as you're taking your turn shows you the spaces that you could land on, and it is possible to come close to what you want. There is a bit of drift to it, though. The inner track is where you start, and that's your hometown where you'll encounter special events that generally earn you money. Once you feel that you're ready, you can go to the outer track, which is the city, and that's where all the stores that sell car parts are. The biorhythm bar here doesn't go up and down with time, it's more of a stamina meter. It will go down with your turns, and you'll encounter events that will make it go back up. The lower it is, the more likely you are to get a bad event. Some of these events are mini-games that you'll play out for extra cash, like this dungeon, or here where you're playing red light, green light. There's also a high-low card guessing game. The big problem with this board game setup is that it's possible to never land on anything. I didn't land on a single parts store before the first event. I kept getting caught by the police in the city and sent back to the hometown, or landing on all of the one-off squares in the outer ring, and so I still had the default base car when I got to competition, and lost. There's a few different competitions. Most of them are races. A group of cars just lines up and runs the track. You can even race people one-on-one for some cash if you land on them during the board game. There's 6 different tracks that can be used, each one requiring a little bit different setup. There's also this sumo arena where your goal is to knock the other car out of the ring. In the competitions, the people who place in the top 4 get points, while everybody else gets nothing. Competing puts some wear and tear on your components, and you'll need to buy repair kits or replacement parts from time to time. I found Racer Mini Yonku to just be too random to be interesting to play. You can't really strategize if you can't get parts. I'm okay with the lack of control during the racing segments. The whole point is supposed to be that you win or lose based on your preparation. But you really don't have a lot of control over your preparation. You can't even do test runs with your car to see how it's performing. The game can take a long time to play out, too, as you have to watch everybody else take their turns and compete. Racer Mini Yonku isn't a very good Racer Mini Yonku game. It's a heavily random roll and move board game, and the only thing you really can do with it is fill time.